Your boy Man Mike here with a couple of news updates for Atlanta Falcons fans. All right, so we got the regulators coming on in about 30 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that, Atlanta Falcons Nation, as well. As again, this is the last call for everybody who wants to be a part of the watch party. We're having that in a couple of hours. So, come out to the playground, Roosevelt Highway. All the information that you need will be on the flyer. Myself, One Drill, Ms. Maggie T. We might have quite a few other people to come out and watch the game and watch the party, have a watch party with us. And like I said, come out, have something to eat, have something to drink. But we are having a watch party. But come out and chill out with us, man. We're going to be watching the Atlanta Falcons game. So just let us know if you plan on checking it out. Just hit us up and we'll guide you along the way. But this is Atlanta Falcons news. Trade rumors are heating up right now, obviously with the trade deadline looming really soon. Mark Davis has pretty much came out and stated that we are not trading Maxx Crosby before or after the deadline. And I know I expect him to come out and say something like this, but a lot of times when you're dealing with players, man, they're going to leave it open. All right, they're going to leave it open as far as that's concerned. That this dude wants to win. So whether or not this is true, parking to be fine. Parking to be fine, mucho. But yeah, just come out. We'll take care of the parking. Don't worry about the parking. But like I said, well, players want to win, and a guy like Maxx Crosby, he definitely wants to win, and like I said, man, I don't expect Maxx Crosby to be traded. I don't expect the Atlanta Falcons to trade for him. But when you're dealing with players, man, players want to win at the end of the day. They're not trying to hear anything about what you not are not gonna do. They want to win, and I think Maxx does. Maxx does want to win, especially with them trading away one of their best players and Devontae Adams. Despite what we may think about it, players may think about something completely different. So Mark Davis came out and stated he's not going to do it. Also, some trade possibilities out there of Deontay Johnson. I think that's a foregone conclusion as far as them's concerned. Wide receiver, Carolina, obviously with their pitiful season going on, and then you got Christian Kirk. His name has been out there, and I've heard some whispers of him possibly being traded to the Falcons. I don't think that's the truth as far as that's concerned. I don't think Falcons need him, but I have heard that his name has been out there. And Sean McVay pretty much coming out and stating that Cooper Kupp is off of the trade market himself. Like I said, I don't understand why they would be at this point, but I guess you have an older quarterback in Matt Stafford. I've heard he on the trade market, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and this is why they're called trade rumors, because, like I said, you don't know the complete truth or the whole truth in regards to that. But and like I said, man, I'll take a few questions right now, but I want to kind of get the news out of there. But Harold Landry is another name that I've been hearing as well. Harold Landry, look at his numbers for the most part. I think he has somewhere in the neighborhood about 30 to 40 sacks, somewhere in there. So he's pretty successful as far as being a quality pass rusher. I don't think he's elite by any means, but he's a name that I'm hearing that's been connected to the Atlanta Falcons also, man. Yeah, I don't know why my dad, he sees me go live and he always wants to have a conversation with me while I'm going live. He does it. It's like clockwork. He sees me having it, and he's like, "Hey, Mike, let me talk to you." I'm talking to y'all. Like, come on, y'all. All right. So, yeah, that's Mike Senior. All right, man, Mike Senior. Yeah. So, let me get back on schedule. Um, I mean, he says Stradus says Harold Landry would be a great pickup, and like I said, man, I don't expect. I really don't expect the Falcons to make a move for a big time or give up too much. As we all know that we traded our third round pick for Matt Judon. So like if the Falcons were to trade for a guy, it would have to. In my opinion, it would have to be well worth it to give up anything. Well, either in the third or fourth this year, next year, but they would have to. It would have to be well worth it. And what I mean by well worth it, it has to be a guy like Maxx Crosby. I don't think the Falcons at this point in time, just my humble opinion, especially with a guy like Troy Anderson at some point, he's going to be back. I think you can put Caden Ellis on the edge. I really believe you can put Caden Ellis on the edge. But the Atlanta Falcons, the way that they sound, man, they're not ready to give anybody the benefit of the doubt, because I don't think, not the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think they're ready to bring in another player, because what I'm hearing from Jimmy Lake in regards to D'Angelo Malone, they was asking whether or not he would be able to, get some snaps at edge, and he pretty much just shot that down. Hey, he shot that shit down out of the plane like an airplane in the sky. He shot that shit down like a bird playing duck hunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, I don't think the Falcons are going to make a move. Just listening to Jimmy Lake and the things that's going around, I don't think. I don't think he's going. I don't think he's going to do anything. But okay, I want elite pass rushers. Tired of Devon. Devin, I hope I'm not butchering elite pass rushers, man. There's not a lot of guys in the league right now that are elite pass rushers. I think there's a transition in regards to not only the passing game, but I think pass rushing as well, because a lot of teams are using a lot of this RPO stuff, and they're getting the ball out of their hands quick, and a lot of these guys are using a heck of a lot of screens. So I don't think you're going to see too many elite pass rushers just yet, because of the schemes, and offensive coordinators doing a really good job of scheming up ways they can get the ball out of quarterback's hand. Like, now that hasn't always led to big numbers in regards to the the passing game, because passing around the league is pretty much down. Wide receivers, tight end numbers, they're down. So it's a lot of things that are down in regards to practice, the passing game, and that's offensively and defensively. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of, elite pass rushers as of right now. But I do think there are a few guys out there. I do think there's a few guys out there, being a Maxx Crosby. I heard Jeffrey Simmons' name being brought out there as far as trade is concerned, because I think, at some point Tennessee is going to be looking to sell and just rebuild that team. And then you got Myles Garrett. He's another one of those guys that's name is being out there. I think, the Browns are going to be selling at some point as well. There's quite a few players out there that I believe that are really good pass rushers, not only edge guys, but defensive tackles, as I stated with Jeffrey Simmons. He's one of those guys that I've seen. His name is being out there. But as far as Jimmy Lake, I'm gonna say this about Jimmy Lake. I think we just gotta chill with that. I really think we gotta chill with Jimmy Lake, man. We have to remember, this team hasn't been together. We have a few players on the team, a handful of guys offensively and defensively that play together. Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, those guys have played together for a year or two. Obviously the offensive line is the most stable as far as that's concerned. But like even that, Bergeron has paid for these guys not even full 2 years. So you look at him, Drew Dahlman, it's still a young team, offensively. Defensively, obviously, you had a lot of different guys, and we pretty much rebuilt that defense, from days of Arthur Smith, Dean Pease, Ron Nelson. Like, we have a lot of different pieces. So we have to give these guys time to kind of find their NASCAR packages. Your NASCAR package is basically your pass rush packages. And then you got to find your run stop practice, which player is better suited for being a run stopper. Like, we have to find all those things. So I don't want to give Jimmy Lake a bad name and to just give him a hard time, because we're not living up to what we expect this defense or what we said this defense is going to be. So he's doing a pretty good job for a guy that's, for the most part, a young and a rookie play caller on the defensive side of the ball. As far as and being in the pros, he called plays obviously in college, but this is in college. But like I said, man, I think when it comes down to it, man, Southside, like these guys are pretty much just they're not even in their full first year with this team. They're literally, a lot of these guys been with this team for a couple of months, 4 to 5 months or so. So they haven't even really been together in this scheme for long. So I'm not going to give Jimmy Lake a hard time, just me personally. You guys have different expectations in regards to how, it should be perceived. But like I said, I'm not going to give him a hard time. But I do think, some schematic issues in regards to the coverage, playing that off coverage, that really it pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie. It really pisses me off. I don't like to see too much loose coverage, and that's one of the most frustrating aspects with me and hiring Raheem. I did not want to see the Dan Quinn defense, that Suki Hunter slut walk defense, where everybody just get their turn with her. I don't want to see that. And playing that loose coverage in the absolute worst time. We in third, we got 3rd and 3, but you playing 15 yards away. Like those types of things just like really pisses me off. So I don't want to see that, but we are seeing that in certain situations. I want to see a little bit more man. I want to see a little bit more physicality out of our defensive backs and our corners a bit. And like I said, in certain situations, like Justin Simmons pretty much stated that, it was his fault on that touchdown as giving up before the half. It's just things like that really, you look at the Atlanta Falcons as well as stopping the run in certain situations. But we know, when our boy Troy Anderson went off, that's when a lot of our rushing got so much worse. Not that it was great, even with Troy in there. I think that's another myth as well, that we're just missing Troy. Like I said, I think it's just the Falcons are just trying to find something that works in regards to their rotations, defensive line, and it's a work in progress. And like I said, we got to remember that these guys have not been together a year yet. Okay, it hasn't even been a full year, so we got to give these coaches time to find not only their rhythm and play calling, but they rhythm in which guys that they want to be in certain packages. Like I said, the pass rush packages. We don't really even know who our best pass rushers to begin with as far as the fan is concerned, but I think the Falcons have a rough idea, but even in a rough idea, these guys aren't getting it done consistently. On the Ebiketie, Lorenzo Carter, like these guys aren't getting to the quarterback consistently. Judon is being dang near double teamed almost every time out. So we need one of these guys on the edge to step up. And I think that's the thing, more so than anything with Jimmy Lake. And like I said, if you know Jimmy Lake's philosophy, he likes to be a little bit more aggressive. He likes to blitz. He likes to use a lot of man. And we haven't seen a lot of man in certain situations against certain teams. That's been my frustration. So, like I said, man, it'll be fine. The Atlanta Falcons will be fine. We'll get it together. Um, today I think it's going to be a good day for the Atlanta Falcons, and we're going to be playing the Bucs. Obviously, this is definitely for the division. We win this game, man. We take a massive, a huge step, and pretty much solidifying our spot in the playoffs. So we have to win this game. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about this. We have to win this football game. They're down their 2 star wide receivers, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I don't want to hear any excuses from Raheem. Okay, get this win. One of the things that has frustrated a lot of Falcons fans is that we don't win the game that we should be winning. We have to win the game that we should be winning. All right? Falcons have to win the game that we should be winning, and we're not doing that. So if the fans, if the media, if the analysts are going to respect the Atlanta Falcons, they have to win the games like this. And that's been one of the frustrations in regards to that. As a Bears fan, I'm scared that Jaden Daniels is how he'll play today. Jaden Daniels, man, like for me, I always say this. And you're kind of seeing it right now with C.J. Stroud. Like C.J. Stroud, he had a wonderful rookie year. I think offensive coordinators do a great job of acclimating a lot of young players and what they do well, especially in the first year. And then because most defenses don't really do a lot of homework or research on these guys, scouting these guys. And, you don't know a whole lot of their tendencies. You're saying it's one thing to see them, work out and things like that, but it's another thing to play against these guys. And a lot of these guys have not played against Jaden Daniels. And I think Jaden Daniels is taking complete and full control over that. I think he's doing a wonderful job. He got to protect himself a little bit more. He's still stubborn in regards to that and protecting himself as a quarterback. But I think they're doing a good job of acclimating him to the NFL and doing all the things that he does well, highlighting all the things that he does well. So I like what I'm seeing from Jaden Daniels. He could easily be the best quarterback and probably is the best young quarterback in this draft. And, I think is without a doubt, he's obviously, a top 10 quarterback in regards to just this year. I don't like to put young quarterbacks on the pedestal until, at least give them 3 years at the very least of consistency. So for one, he just had to be consistent. And so far, he's done a pretty good job, of leading his team. Dan Quinn, those guys doing a very good job of kind of leading him and being a quarterback. But I like what I'm seeing from both quarterbacks. I like what I'm seeing from Miss Thane Jr. And Caleb Williams. He's doing a pretty good job as a quarterback. Obviously, I think you're going to have, one of the first 4,000 yards passes in Bears. So I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing with Miss Thane Jr. Mr. I want to paint my fingernails. I like what I'm seeing from him as a quarterback, doing a really good job of leading the Bears. You still see him as a rookie. You still see him as a rookie. He's doing a wonderful job. But like I said, man, at some point these defenses is going to catch up with them. Just like we said with Brock Purdy, these defenses are starting to catch up with them. You're starting to really see who they are. Once defense see, the thing is about your tendencies is what defensive coordinators are. So they try to throw every little thing in every aspect, blitzing up the A gap, blitzing, outside the edges, blitzing the edges, playing cover 3, mixing the coverages. To a certain extent, you come out, you want to play a 2-man shell, and then you give him a look that he's not ready for. For example, play a 2-man, a cover 2, and then you turn that cover two into, a cloud coverage. Like, these are the things that defensive coordinators are experimenting with. And once they find something that a quarterback is struggling with, what they're doing with C.J. Stroud as well as Brock Purdy, then they keep throwing it at him. So right now, Brock Purdy, he has his game, but he doesn't have his weapons. So you're starting to see who Brock Purdy really is when he doesn't have weapons around. You're starting to see, those small things that, teams are doing with C.J. Stroud. So, like, at some point, I believe the teams will catch up to what Jayden Daniels is, and what he's doing and what he's not doing. But, like, once they figure out what what his weaknesses are, yeah. And the Bears, I think the Bears are definitely one of them teams that's going to figure that out quicker than most. Because obviously, Bears have always been one of them teams that's, they've always had pretty good defenses. But like I said, I like what I'm seeing from Jayden Daniels as well as Caleb Williams. But like I said, we're about to go live shortly here in about 8 minutes or so. But this has been Atlanta Falcons news from your boy, man, Mike. Again, I'll go over real quick. Cooper Kupp. Sean McVay pretty much yanking Cooper Kupp off of the trade market. I don't think Sean McVay can say it all he wants to, but with Puka being the guy, a young guy, and they haven't paid him yet, Cooper Kupp days a number. I'm just gonna be real about that. You got Deontay Johnson, Christian Kirk. Those guys are on the trade market, and Adam Schefter is pretty much stating that these guys are expected to move, or the most likely to move off the trade market. The trade deadline is November 5th, so in a couple of days. And Mark Davis is pretty much yanked Maxx Crosby off the trade market himself. Guys like Jeffrey Simmons, I saw that his name was out there, and it stated that he may not be traded as well. Harold Landry is a name that I'm still seeing out there. He's been tied to the Atlanta Falcons and a handful of other teams. But like I said, man, we don't know what's going to happen in regards to these trades. So we're going to continue to, watch everything. And I appreciate everybody for continuing to support your boy here at Man Mike Sports. Like I said, this is NFL news. So you have any questions in regards to, possible trades, a breakdown of a player, just hit the comment section, man. And hit the comment section on any one of his videos. I will do my best to break those down and give my opinion on said question. So this has been your boy, man, Mike. Head over to Atlanta Falcons Nation. We have the regulators, and we're going to be breaking down, having a pregame show and breaking down the Falcons versus Bucs. This is one hell of a weekend for you. For the Atlanta Falcons, it's one hell of a game. Falcons need this game to pretty much solidify their spot as a playoff team, especially to win the NFC South. With that being said, this has been your boy, man, Mike. Continue to support you here right now. If you're new to this channel, you're just seeing this, again, we answer all questions no matter what team you are and whatever team you represent. So leave your comments, ask some questions, and we will answer them in video form. So with that being said, I'm out of here, man. Head over to Atlanta Falcons Nation for what? The Regulators morning show. About to break this down. NFL takes all around. Again, I'm out of here, man. Peace.